Hi guys, this is MsRutzler. Unfortunately, I am unable to be in class today. My little one is sick, so this is kind of the next best thing. My hope is that at the end of this, you will still understand the lesson as you would as if I was in class with you today. So please make sure your headphones are in, and we are going to get started. You should have the two handouts from over on the side counter. The first one says Unit 1, Lesson 12, Congruent Polygons, and the second one has some problems on it, which we'll get to. So the first one is your warm-up. All of the triangles are congruent. Some we can take one figure to another with a translation. Shade the triangles that are images of the triangle ABC under a translation. So you are going to find the triangles that are a translation of the original triangle, which is triangle ABC. Please do that now. Hopefully you are aware of what a translation is. A translation is a slide or a shift within the coordinate plane, and a translation is one of our rigid transformations that creates congruent figures. So there are three triangles here that are congruent polygons to triangle ABC. One of them is here, the other here, and the last one is here. Hopefully you got those three on your own. Again, a translation is a slide or shift. All of the other triangles have been rotated somehow, which means that it is not a translation any longer once you turn the figure. All right, if you flip your papers over, the activity today is called congruent pairs, and the idea is going to pull off of yesterday when we had to be very, very specific in how we were explaining what is going on. We were talking about congruent rectangles yesterday. Today we're just going to talk about polygons. So for each of the following pairs of shapes, decide whether or not they are congruent and explain your reasoning. What I want you to do is pause the video, and I want you to say yes or no whether you believe that they are congruent shapes. And I want you to give me some reasons as to why. You don't necessarily have to give me a full explanation statement yet, but give me reasons why those two polygons are congruent. Please pause the video now. Okay, hopefully you have some statements down on your paper, and the idea here is to gather all of the information that you possibly can and then put it into a full explanation of why something is the way it is. So I'm looking at polygon ABCD, and I am explaining why polygon EFGH is congruent. Sorry, my iPad just froze for a minute. So I'm explaining why polygon EFGH is congruent. So some things I definitely notice is that a rotation happened. So there is a rotation that is going on, and it has moved 2 quadrants, which would tell me that it's a rotation of 180 degrees. It also looks to be translated. More specifically, it was translated left 3 units. And then also down 2 units. From here, I'm able to write my explanation of why I believe one polygon is congruent to the other polygon. So I'm going to write that in red. So what I'm going to say here is quadrilateral ABCD is congruent to quadrilateral HGFE. I'm restating the question, and I'm also answering the question as well as while I'm restating it. And now I'm going to use my explanation. If you rotate quadrilateral ABCD around D by 180 degrees, and then translate left 3 units and down 2 units, the two quadrilaterals would match perfectly. So the 3 things we talked about yesterday is restate, answer, and then support. So my modeled explanation for you is I restated the question, I also answered the question within my restate, and then I supported it with why they are congruent through the rotation as well as through the translation. And rotations and translations create rigid transformations. I could even add that in here. Rotations and translations create, hopefully you're answering this or finishing this sentence for me, congruent figures through rigid transformations. Okay. So hopefully you are with me. Nothing has changed. We've gone over all of this. This is just a more specific, detailed explanation using a more complex transformation. There are 4 in which you are going to be responsible for. So what I need you to do is take out a piece of notebook paper, and the other handout that you have on your desk should be 12.3 Congruent Pairs Part 2. And on Congruent Pairs Part 2, you should have 4 problems, 2 on the front and 2 on the back. And you are going to be specific and compile a full explanation. You're going to restate the question, answer the question, and make sure that you will support your answer with whatever it is that you state is happening within each problem. This is a graded classwork assignment. The substitute will take it from you when you are finished, and then when you are done, you are going on to Dreambox. So between yesterday and today, that 14 lessons that you need to get through, most of them should be done between yesterday and today. So after that, in the next 2 weeks, hopefully you won't have many to do. I will give out your menu math folders tomorrow. I have leveled you A, B, C, D, and you'll be able to hopefully move on to your other must-dos as well as some of those can-dos in the next 2 weeks or so. If you have any questions, please make sure you ask the substitute. I have come in today this morning. I filled her in on everything, but most of this should be familiar to you. You are expected again to do Dreambox after the assignment. All 4 need a full explanation written on notebook paper. Make sure your name is on it and the substitute will take it when you are finished. I hope you guys have a good day, and again, I'm really sorry that I'm not there, but this is a great way for me to still communicate the lesson to you so that we all don't fall behind and we continue learning. So I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow is iReady, as well as Thursday is iReady, and that's all I have. All right, have a good night, everybody, or day. Bye.